The video you're about to see first aired on our NFL Draft YouTube channel. For more videos and a ton of NFL Draft coverage, make sure you're subscribed over there, youtube.com/NFL. I'll put the link in the comments section and the description as well. Welcome into NFL Daily by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey. Lance Zierlein of NFL Network has posted his latest 2023 NFL mock draft, and I'll tell you what, it is very unlike others. And I'll say this on the top. The NFL draft every year we know is pretty weird. It's not a cookie cutter, we thought it was the way it was going to go. So there's some weird picks here. I'll give Lance some credit for thinking outside the box, but we will react to it as if it actually went down, which means not every fan base is going to like it. Pretty straightforward here at number 1. That was Bryce Young, cornerback out of Alabama. There's been smoke around C.J. Stroud. I think it's one of these two guys. Young goes number 1, Stroud goes number 1. I think Panthers fans are feeling fine. But things get wacky at pick number 2. It's not a quarterback. It's Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech. Not even Will Anderson is the selection here. It's Wilson because, according to Zierlein, the Texans want Bryce Young, and they might not want C.J. Stroud. So, in this case, they pass on a quarterback at number 2 and take a different edge in Tyree Wilson. Lance has called this the mock that makes the city of Houston hate him, and I get it. So what is the percent chance you think that the Texans do not take a quarterback at number 2 overall? Sound off for me in the comments section. All right, back to, I guess, normalcy here, or at least expectedness, maybe is the better term there. Will Anderson goes number 3. Trade could happen if Houston doesn't go quarterback at 2. I think Indy would have a lot of, Arizona have a ton of interest in a trade. But there is a trade at number 4 involving Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson goes to Indy. The Ravens get, well, all that's specified is the number 4 overall pick. I would assume this is the offer sheet accepted, so it's 2 firsts. It wasn't specified by Lance, but the Colts get Lamar instead of their choice of the second best quarterback this year, and the Ravens, jumping up now to number 4, take C.J. Stroud out of Ohio State, who I do think, if you're going to run a pure Todd Monken offense, actually is a pretty decent fit when it's all said and done. But we're 4 picks in, and we have 2 very, 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 very outside-the-box selections in Tyree Wilson and C.J. Stroud as part of the Lamar Jackson trade with the Ravens and the Colts. So it's a wild one so far, and it would be wild if Lamar does get moved before or during the NFL draft. So will that happen? Will the Ravens end up trading Lamar Jackson before this year's NFL draft? Y for yes, and for no. Go ahead and vote at the pinned comments of today's video. If the ad break comes here on YouTube, then take advantage of it. Head down there and go vote. More of the, I'll call them chalky picks here. Jalen Carter, number 5 overall, to the Seattle Seahawks. Trust the off the field. It's a great pick there. Devon Witherspoon goes number 6 to the Detroit Lions there. He's undersized, but he hits hard. Had a fantastic year as well. Allegedly ran in the mid-4.4s at his delayed pro day because of a hamstring injury. It's a great time for him. The Raiders at number 7, trade down. The Texans come up. So Houston passes on a quarterback at number 2, and then the thing you don't ever really see in the draft, they will trade up to then get their quarterback. All that was specified was the number 12 overall pick. At minimum, you're going to move a third, probably more in 2024 draft picks if you're Houston. And they go up for Will Levis. And that is why Houston fans were not happy with Lance, because you could walk out of this draft with Nolan Smith and C.J. Stroud. Instead, it's Tyree Wilson and Will Levis, and that's just not what Texans fans want. He goes number 7 overall. Much more of a chalky pick here. Christian Gonzalez, who I do believe the Falcons are pretty high on, at number 8 overall. So we are through 7 picks. I think we had 3 pretty big shockers of where Will Levis went. Not that he went 7, but went to the Texans. Will Anderson is not the number 2 overall pick as a non-QB. We'll break down the rest of the picks here, but first, today's show is made possible by Fume. If you're tired of struggling with bad habits, Fume's perfect for you. Cold turkey might be great for sandwiches, but there's a better way to break free of those pesky habits. And it doesn't involve any weird mind voodoo or other bizarre tactics. Our sponsor, Fume, is an innovative, award-nominated device. Helps you kick the bad habits to the curb by focusing on the good parts. Fume is all about embracing the natural. It's not electronic, and instead of vapor, Fume uses a flavored air. Best of all, it's free of harmful chemicals and packed with delicious, all-natural flavors. The adjustable airflow dial, immovable parts, and magnets make it perfect for fidgeting, which can help alleviate stress while you break your habit. I wasn't sure what to expect at first, but I was happily surprised by the taste, feel, and look of Fume. Breaking a habit can be tough, but with Fume, it's easy, enjoyable, and even fun. With over 100,000 customers and countless success stories, there's no reason you can't be next. Start your journey towards a healthier lifestyle with the Journey Pack from Fume. Visit tryfume.com/chatsports and use code chatsports for 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com/chatsports. Don't forget to use code CHATSPORTS for 10% off your order. Links in the comment section and the description of today's show. Semi-shocker here, Lukas Van Ness goes top 10. Over all of the offensive linemen, other defensive players, Van Ness is an upside athletic tester. Reminds me of George Karlaftis. A good athlete. Only likes to use power, though. Peter Skoronski, number 10. Fun fact, by the way, if you look at his, I know Sam's pointed this out to me before. College Peter Skoronski and Combine Skoronski look like 2 different people. The hairstyle, and he has a beard now, looks totally different. But he is still a very, very good NFL player. He'd be a guard option, according to Lance Zierlein. Jaxon Smith-Njigba is the pick at number 11. There's another wide receiver instead of going offensive line there for Philadelphia. JSN off the board here. Now remember, the Raiders moved down to number 12. Paris Johnson, some other top corners on the board. They go Darnell Wright, the second offensive lineman off the board. As near as I can tell, I think Lance Zierlein just really likes this Tennessee draft class. Spoiler, as we'll get to later on, 3 Tennessee players in round 1, none of them. Well, I won't give it away all here. But Darnell Wright is not a pick I would like. The offensive line is needed. I think top 12 is way too expensive for him. Now, Broderick Jones, I think this makes sense. 13th overall, left tackle option, high-end upside player, needs some mechanical work, but the traits are there. No complaints there. Here's Anthony Richardson. He fell to 14 despite the buzz of being a top 5 pick this year. This scenario, I will make note, Lance says Patriots could try to trade away Mac Jones as well. So Richardson to New England, which I don't think is a very commonly mocked player pick matchup. Dalton Kincaid is to Green Bay. It's been a bit more common. Now, it does require the medical to get checked out. The back is a red flag for teams, but hey, trade away Aaron Rodgers, and then you spend a first-round pick on a playmaker. Isn't that kind of funny? Paris Johnson slides to 16. There are many who think he's the best offensive lineman in this year's class with the traits and the skills and everything. At 16, I think the Commanders would be over the moon with that selection. Deonte Banks, 17 overall. I will make note this is taking him over Joey Porter Jr., the son of the Steelers legend, which might not go over very well in Pittsburgh. Michael Mayer, the pick now at number 18 for the Detroit Lions, and I know what Lions fans are going to say. We're not taking a tight end, they say, because they don't believe in that, even though they were mad when I mocked him to T.J. Hawkinson. I think Dan Campbell would love Michael Mayer. Also, by the way, has changed his hairstyle and looks like a very different person since leaving Notre Dame. It's no longer pulled back; it's more to the side. But that's beside the point. Nolan Smith, number 19, Tampa Bay. He made a weird. There have been some comments about Nolan Smith playing straight up off-ball linebacker, and Lance made that too, which, no, he's a pass rusher. Again, if you are taking a 4-4, whatever it is, 4-4-9, 4-4-2 athlete and saying, what if we took him away from pass rusher and made him an off-ball linebacker? You're not doing the football right. Like, you're just not. Let him go get the quarterback. Myles Murphy, number 20. I actually like that fit, and I think Smith and Murphy could both go a lot earlier come actual NFL draft time. Jalen Hyatt, here is one of the other Tennessee players I mentioned, number 21 overall to the Chargers. They don't really have a lot of speed, and although Hyatt's predominantly a slot, I think that could be a great fit with Herbert. All right, get Hyatt a free release, outrun everybody. Herbert, just throw it down there. That's actually a great player-team fit. Zay Flowers, number 22 overall. CJ Stroud's the new quarterback. Get him a new wide receiver one, which I'm sure would not make Lamar Jackson angry at all. He's getting paid in theory, so I'm sure it's all fine and dandy. Vikings at 23, trade down. Another trade. The Bills jump up to 23 with no specification of what the trade package is, so that's always a bit disappointing. And the Bills take Bijan Robinson out of Texas. Now, the pitch is, well, they can swim Super Bowl, and the best way to get there might be to take a running back. I will make note, it's never worked. When was last time a running back put a team over the top? The answer is Emmitt Smith when he held out from the Dallas Cowboys, and that team was already built. So I think Bijan's a great fit. I think it'd be a fun addition, but I would be wary of saying, the running back will get us to where we need to be. Joey Porter Jr., love this pick here for the Jags. This is great value. I think Porter is a top 15 player this year and would be an instant starter for Jacksonville. Now, we're not done with some of the interesting picks, but I think we're far enough in we can ask this question. What's your one-word reaction to you say we can't cuss, Sam? You said just don't cuss up there. Oh, okay, I guess we can't cuss anymore. But one-word reaction to Lance Zierlein's mock draft. Let us know in the comment section right now. Brian Branch goes number 25. I'm actually a huge fan of his game. This is like Julian Love, upgrade button, which is a good thing for the Giants. I got Branch as a top 15 player as well. I would adore that pick for the Giants. He would thrive in a Wink Martindale defense. Quentin Johnston goes number 26 to the Dallas Cowboys, a bigger body receiver who would also help on the outside. Is a weird blend of skills and traits that we'll talk more about during our actual draft coverage, but he's built like a possession guy, but plays like a smaller guy. It's a bit weird and unusual there, but Johnston would make plenty of local Dallas fans happy. Drew Sanders is the pick for Minnesota. Now, this is one of those, well, maybe he is better as an off-ball linebacker. He has good production as a rusher. It's kind of a volume thing there, but I think he's a good fit in Minnesota's defense, as in many ways reminds me some of Anthony Barr, who Vikings fans know oh so well. Tight end Luke Musgrave out of Oregon State. He scares me. I'll probably be wrong about him, but I saw some drop issues, some inconsistency. Had he played all year, he only played in 2 games this year, I think this would have been a much more household name. Kalijah Kancey to the New Orleans Saints. I think he is a designated pass rusher at DT, which is rare, but he's really good at it, so late round 1, sure. Keon White, number 30 to the Philadelphia Eagles. He kind of mentioned maybe playing him on the inside, which I'm not sure is going to be a 3 technique, but he is a bit of a bigger base end. I do think he'd be a fun fit in Philadelphia, who I know wants to add some more talents up front. This would be trench player on offense, Skoronski at 10, trench player on defense, 30, Keon White. And finally, the final Tennessee player, Cedric Tillman, in the first round to the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I think make a real argument. Tillman's better than Hyatt. He was banged up a lot this year. He was really good in 2020. He torched Georgia and Alabama. But 31 is awfully rich for me, especially with, among others, we'll get into this in a moment, Jordan Addison. It's on the board still. So grade the mock draft. You can be honest. It's fine. The whole point of it. It's different. You can be negative. It's okay. A, B, C, D, or F. Go vote for me in the comments section as we break down some players who did not go in round 1. Jordan Addison, not a first-round pick, which I think there's a real chance one of Addison or Johnston most likely don't go in the first round. Keep that in mind. Brian Brzee, the DT, I'm actually okay with that. He scares me. Emmanuel Forbes, Will McDonald, both very slender players, but very productive and impactful guys. And one of my players, Osiris Torrance, did not go in round 1.